pushing myself right now.
Pablo, I need you to stay on the phone with me, okay? Just wait until we get there. Pablo?
Yeah.
Okay, just stay with me, okay? Don't shoot yourself.
Okay.
Okay? Tell me exactly what happened.
Yep. So I don't know any way to describe better how I feel about being 0-6. I'm sorry, that's probably pretty loud. I don't know a whole lot of what to talk about this week. So I did a little bit of digging to just try to figure out my own plight and see if anybody else is having that much trouble with it. And I mean, it was a little bit more difficult because I have obviously 6 losses while other people only have 3 or 4. But from what I've found, I have not lost by more than 25 points at all this year. And my losses literally go in order: 25 points, 3 points, 2 points, 18 points, 16 points, and 2 points again. So I'm fucking done. I throw in the towel here. Not competing for the playoffs. Probably couldn't even get into the playoffs if I wanted to, because we literally have 7 more weeks of the season here. Even if I won out, 7-6 is probably not. I mean, it might be a good enough record, but I would need a lot of you guys to lose repeatedly to get there. So what I'm going for at this point is just try not to finish last. So all I really have is, excuse me, the one waiver thing that really happened. Of course, it runs back to my team. Dropped Darrell Henderson because literally he's doing nothing on my bench. Cam Akers looks to be the guy. I hit drop and submit, and then all of a sudden Cam Akers is getting traded, will never play another down for the Rams, and Darrell Henderson looks to be the dude. So Ben got him for 57. I don't know why it says invalid claim due to previous transaction. It's kind of weird. But anyway, he paid up for the guy he needed, so that was really about all that happened on waivers, really. So nothing too crazy exciting other than that. And also, I wanted to show that. So when you go on our league thing, you can go to current standings. It's only on the computer too, by the way. You can't do this on the app from the phone, which is dumb. But it right here is what Yahoo is projecting everybody to finish. A little bit of disparities here. I don't even know if that's the right word. They've got John going 12-2. A couple of us down here at the bottom. Me, Matt, Tim, and Tiff all down here with way losing records, and everybody else doing pretty good. The points is kind of odd, but I don't know. And they've also got draft day projections. So this was the projections after the draft, which I thought was interesting too, just to kind of go back and look at. And they also do their own power rankings. So this is what they have. I have something a little bit different based on things that happened last week and all that stuff. We'll actually go ahead and pull up the matchups here from last week. So as you can see, we had a couple of close games this last week, and we had a couple blowouts. So I lost in heartbreaking fashion by 2 points. To be expected. As soon as I get anywhere near close to winning, they have to take it away from me. The closer game, though, was Ben and Lance. At one point, Ben had actually won, and due to a San Francisco 49er defense stat correction, Lance gets the nod by 1 point, which is an unfortunate, heartbreaking loss for Ben. I know how it feels, man. I think it was last year or the year before that I lost to John, coincidentally, by 0.02 points. That was the closest matchup that I've ever seen in my entire life, and I don't know if, I mean, it can be beat, obviously, but only by 1/10 of a point. So the other close-ish matchup was Ryan versus Tiffany. So two undefeated teams got dangerously close this week to suffering a loss, but still prevailed. Ryan was by 12 points, so it wasn't as bad or as close as the other two. And then Joe absolutely destroyed Kim, and Tim absolutely destroyed Matt. Matt had a pretty damn bad week. So, but as you can see here, here's the power rankings that Yahoo has. Like I said, I have different power rankings. They've got Ryan at 4. He's undefeated. If you're going off of, I guess, what their power rankings based on projected points for the remainder of the season. Okay, so it's more of a season thing. That makes a little bit more sense. This is more of a season thing, like season long, than just this week. So we'll just get off of that and go to current standings. So I'm just going to go through the power. I don't have really much to talk about. I'm really not in the mood to talk about fantasy football. If I'm going to be on vacation next week, and I will not be in town to be able to do the podcast or video or whatever this is. So if somebody wants to do it while I'm gone, feel free. Other than that, there won't be one next week. I'll say that again at the end. But for the power rankings, going from worst to first, we've got me at 0-6. I've already talked ad nauseum about it. So number 9, I actually have Matt at 2-4. He came off of a 62-point loss this week. Has lost 2 in a row. His team just didn't show up. I prefer. I mean, I honestly even prefer my team over Matt's, but 2-4 versus 0-6, I don't have a candle to, or I don't have a leg to stand on there. So, but I just think the bad week, and then looking at his team to me it appears it's going to get worse before it gets better. Got a few really good strong players, but at the same time, here comes bye weeks and all that crap that everybody has to worry about. So I don't know. Number 8, I've got Tiffany, 1-5, lost by 12 points to undefeated Ryan. Got pretty close, just didn't have a very good showing last week. I know she was over here rooting for Cortland Sutton on Monday night and angry when it didn't happen. she's going to be hit with the bye week stuff here too, with Diggs and Higbee, and she picked up Greg Dulcich. I didn't even know that. That's funny. But I mean, she's tough sledding here, starting Benjamin and Rondale Moore as her starters this week. So everybody's gonna have to do it eventually. It's just the early bye weeks kind of hurt when you're 1-5. Number 7, I've got Lance, and the reason I have Lance at number 7 is because I think his team is just worse than our number 6 entry, which I guess I should just go ahead and say. At 7, I have Lance. At 6, I have Ben. So Lance obviously just beat Ben in a head-to-head matchup, but it was by a point, and I was actually more shocked that Ben's team lost than, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think Ben has the better team. I just plain and simple. For the rest of the season, I mean, I think he just had a bad week and should have probably won that matchup. So, stat correction for the win. You'll take it if you're Lance, and I mean, there's not much you can do about it. If you're Ben, you've had even worse luck in the points against than me this year with 890. A couple of teams have actually had worse luck than me again on the points against thing. So, I mean, my team's just, I can't complain about being best or most points for or whatever, whatever. But yeah, most points against with the highest points for out of, all those. Like, Kim's pretty close there too, with just a few more points for than Ben. So anyway, moving on. Number 5, I have Tim, just coming off of a 62-point win against Matt. Big blowout. Not much to talk about that. Tim's team looks to be doing a turnaround. Number 4, I've got Kim. Just lost to Joe by 42 points. Having a lot of injuries and bye week stuff happening. Last week she had Jacobs, Henry, and Devontae Adams on a bye, so she had to scramble and start Deion Jackson and I think it was Michael Carter at running back. So, yeah, I mean, it's your own fault because you don't ever want to trade with anybody, but at the same time, you got to be prepared. I'm not trying to shit on you here if you're listening to this. This is depressed Tyler advice. You got to look ahead and be 1-2 steps ahead of what's going on right now at all times. Sometimes, obviously, you're not going to be able to do that because of situations that you have, but you got to be prepared. That way you don't end up in that situation again. So at number 3, I've got Joe. Like I just said, he came off of a big week against Kim last week. His team's looking pretty damn good in my eyes. I actually prefer his team outlook more so than Ryan's. He's got that Josh Allen, Gabe Davis stack that just is crazy. And a lot of other good players like Kenneth Walker seems to be picking up now. Olave didn't play either. I know it was last week, but maybe 2 weeks in a row now he hasn't played. So it looks like his team's starting to pick up. The only question mark is the depth if something does happen. I don't know if some of these players down here are start worthy, but at the same time, all he's got to do is pick somebody up and put them in, and the next guy off of waivers could be season winner. Who knows? Above him, I've got 6-0 Ryan. Just beat Tiffany, like I said earlier, 12 points. 6-0. I mean, I definitely think the worst of the 6-0 teams, but at the same time, I was looking at it, and this is why I ranked him over Joe. With the Hollywood Brown injury and DeAndre Hopkins coming back this week, his team starts to look a little bit more like it's got a lot more depth here. He got Amon-Ra from Tiff. Austin Eckler has woken up and is now the number one running back in fantasy. He's got a little bit of a reeling Jalen Waddle injury situation, but Swift might be back now off the bye week. Travis Kelce is, of course, a freaking god. Ayuk, Deontay Johnson, Kareem Hunt, DJ Moore. He's got a solid team. Whereas maybe a couple of weeks ago I wouldn't have said so. Only thing that's holding him back is this Aaron Rodgers situation. Aaron Rodgers is not playing up to his status this year, in my opinion. So, number one obviously is John. These four right here are, well, not Renfro. Cooper Kupp was right there. Anyway, Kupp and then Chubb, Tyreek, and Patrick Mahomes are literally carrying this dude to a 6-0 record. And I know he's had some all right performances from like Lockett and Kittle a couple weeks and Mostert sometimes, but I mean, I don't know. I'm shocked at their, they keep putting up consistently at least 20-point weeks, which is just insane. You don't really see that a whole lot in fantasy. And you don't really ever see four of those players on the same team. So that's all I have. Trying to make it short and sweet. Didn't really 100% feel like doing this week anyway. So like I said earlier, I'm going to be on vacation next week, so I won't be doing the podcast. If I do decide to do it, it'll be Tuesday night, which would be before waivers run. So we'll see how I'm feeling. If I lose again next week, I guarantee you won't hear from me. If I win, I'll get on here and celebrate whoever my opponent is that decides to get beat by a lowly level fantasy team like mine, which would be Lance. So hopefully, Lance, let's if you're listening, just take one for the team, man. I just need one win, and I'll be at least not depressed. So sorry it's so short. If anybody wants to hop on here with me, either next week or the week after, let me know. I know Joe and Ben said they're always good if can't get anybody else. But I like to try to get at least everybody on here once or twice throughout the season. So just let me know, and I'll see you guys later.